Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. We're slowly populating. Welcome, everyone. Hello, BE and I fam. Welcome to another episode of the Business Excellence and Impact Group Live. And so, if you're here with us, definitely we want you to already start out by being engaged. So, drop in the chats for us a fire sign or say, I'm here, because tonight we are going to be talking about something that is impacting everybody right now. We're going to be talking about job security, the economy, and how you can take control of your financial future. But before I get started, let me do some introductions. So, I am co founder Angela Hooper Minifield, and I am joined by my two incredible co founders, the powerhouse team behind BE and I, Cedric LaFleur and Dr. Nicole Rankin. So, Cedric, say hello to everyone.
Well, they know me already. Hello, everybody.
And Dr. Nick, let's get a shout out.
Hello, hello. I was about to say they may not know me as Dr. Nicole Rankin, but they know me as Dr. Nick.
Well, I got to use that government name
I
every
know
now
she had the full government name.
and again. So, let's just get right into it, right? So, let's talk a little bit about, what everybody is talking about, basically for the last couple of months. And let's just talk about, the fact that I'm sure everybody's seen the massive layoffs, especially in the government sector, even though we've definitely seen some big stuff happening in the private sector in places like, Southwest Airlines and some other places. There's a lot of job uncertainty, even to the point that, my family reunion is scheduled for July. Now I'm hearing that maybe we should postpone it because people are concerned about spending money. Or there may be those who are just feeling as if the business of is that their business is really being affected by today's economy. So the first thing I want to say for those of you who again are watching, put some comments in the chat and tell us what are the things that you're hearing about. Because if this conversation is about you, or we can say something that's for you, one, we want you to know about it. But the second thing is we want you to tag somebody else that needs to hear this conversation. So, what are you guys thinking and seeing as you watch all the layoffs, the job uncertainty, and the impacts on businesses? Dr. Nick, you want to kick us off?
Yeah. For me, I'm seeing a lot of people just afraid, right? There's a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknown. And when that happens, people do nothing. And they get stagnant. And because they're so focused on what's going on around them, rather than focusing on or seeing an opportunity in the midst of the chaos. So, what I'm seeing now, a lot of people are just kind of afraid, focusing on what's going on, buying into the negativity and the lack and all the other things that really, especially for business owners, will derail your business rather than focusing and seeing that opportunity to move forward.
Well, I agree with what both of you guys said, but I will tell you that I look at this and I go, people are afraid, people are anxious, and people are worried for one reason. It's not really about the layoffs; it's that they're not prepared, right? So they don't know what they're going to do, right? Because they have been. Let's take people who are government workers, right? They're so used to that check coming like clockwork, like clockwork, like the mailman coming. They're so used to that check coming like the sun comes up in the morning and goes down in the evening, right? So they didn't prepare for themselves for this type of thing. If they hear a furlough is coming, they hear about it, well in advance, and they can start getting prepared and thinking about it and all this type of stuff. But right now, this just started happening. I mean, literally, you know what, we're 2 months into this thing, and it's happening. So people are worried. COVID should have warned you. Should have, you know, hey, you need to start getting prepared. You need to change some of the things that you're doing, right? Even people like myself, I know that, you know, that retirement check is coming every 29th of the month. I know that my military check, retirement check is coming, our disability check is coming the 28th of the month. I know that's coming, right? But some people they don't know when that next one is coming,
Yeah.
right? So they're worried because they're unprepared.
No, that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. And it's a good segue because, you know, one of the things that we want to be able to help people with, because again, the Business Excellence and Impact Group, you know, our tagline is that, you know, we'll connect you with your ideal client within 60 days. And we do it by our Business Excellence Masterclass. We also talk about the elevation of mindset and money, right? The reason why we do some of the stuff that we do, though, is because, again, we're entrepreneurs as well. And so let's talk a little bit about strategies and solutions and how each of us are navigating our own businesses with this shift in the economy, because we do each run successful businesses, if I must brag, right? And we also know that we all try really hard to be proactive. So we don't want to have to wait till something happens. And you use that preparation or being prepared, Cedric. And so as a result of that, you know, we've all had to adapt. So Cedric, let's really start with you. You know, what is a major shift that you've made in your business this year to stay ahead? And of course, I know you do this every year, so this is nothing new, but what is one thing you've done?
Yeah. So, you know, the big shift, I think, for 2025 for me is I always do the planning part, but I think that I thought more through every individual step more. In December, I was thinking about every next step, and I have a lot of projects that are planned this year, right? And I'm right in the middle of it, but I planned out every step what I was going to take. Sometimes I do my planning, but I let my feelings in the moment decide what I'm going to do next or how I'm going to do it. I know what it is I want to do, but I didn't plan out all the individual steps. This time, what I did is planned out more of the steps of what I'm going to do. And it allows me to say no to some things that I don't want to do because it's going to get in my way. Right.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So, you know, for business owners and for everybody, it's about being more proactive in your approach versus reactive, right? Because when I didn't plan it out all the way, then I may be reacting to something that's happening in the marketplace. When you plan it out proactively, now you're the one that's leading the way, right? Regardless of what's happening in the marketplace. And that way you don't have any fear about it.
Yes, I like that. I like that. So Nicole, how have you adjusted to these changes?
I think for me, I kind of changed. It's all about audience strategy. So thinking about how I interact with my audience, because it's really about building authentic connections and providing real values. You know, people don't buy from businesses, they buy from people they trust, right? So here we are in an economy where trust is low. Showing up consistently and engaging authentically and really positioning myself as a source and not just a service has been a game changer. So previously, you know, I would share my services and how my services are valuable, but now I position myself as a resource in this time. Like, so many of my clients are, you know, whether they're coming individually or as leaders leading a team, everybody's just frustrated, they feel that burnout, all of that stuff is happening. So I present myself to say, hey, I am a solution. So I've started these from the beginning of the year. I started these 7-day campaigns where I am really coming in and being a resource to help, and not just selling my coaching products or my courses, just really offering some hope and some strategies for people to get through this time and really change perspective. Like, Cedric said, and getting prepared and being ready for what's to come. So, and I've already seen the dramatic difference in increased open rates of my emails, even people replying to say, oh my God, thank you for sending this. This is where I was going, and even more discovery calls. People now want, so I'm being that resource and that answer. So that was that game changer for me, just changing how I interact with my audience and the messaging that I'm putting forth.
I love it. I love it. Mm-hmm. So to bring it full circle, for me, one of the biggest shift is, again, just looking at spaces and places where I can collaborate. Mm-hmm. One of the things that, actually, I started from Cedric, so I definitely have to give credit where credit is due, because when we first started working together, I remember him, we were planning and trying to put stuff on the calendar, and he was like, oh yeah, I don't work in December. And I was like, what? Like, and while yeah, exactly. So while I don't necessarily take the whole month off, I do try to be really intentional about thinking into my business. And one of the things that just in building these relationships, I figured out is, there are so many other amazing people, just like I was so fortunate to pair with you two. Like, you have talents and gifts that I don't have. But together, when we put all our greatness together, we are amazing. And so where are some other places and some of the things that I want to do that really what I need is to find, somebody that brings another component, or even if I can do it, it's not my gift, right? It's not the thing I love to do. And so I say all that to say is, again, just seeing places where I can collaborate. Because we don't build businesses in isolation. Mm-hmm. Having strategic partnerships have really just allowed me to create new opportunities, especially in these uncertain times, because the way I might see a issue or a problem, somebody else is going to see it and approach it differently. So it's widening my perspective, and it's giving me a way to look at things that maybe I wouldn't have looked at before. And if you'll recall, for those of you who jumped on Cedric's calls, I think he did 2 of them in the month of February about, how to get these contracts and keep them, long term. You talked about it as well there, right? Cedric, strategic partnerships. So these things are important, and we all have to do that. So, what about you, those of you who are listening, tell us an adjustment you've made in your business or career to stay ahead. And definitely put that in the chat. So, one, it might encourage or elevate somebody else's thinking, but to stay ahead. And definitely put that in the chat. We can speak to it. So now let's talk about
Hey, Angela, before you go there, before you go on, along the same topic, what has to happen is this mindset shift people need to have. Not only entrepreneurs, but people in general need to have, right? And one of my, it's a potential client. She's going to be a client, but we haven't signed the contract yet, but we will. We were going back and forth in text messaging this morning, and I'm just going to read the text message that she sent back to me. We had a long dialogue here, but she said, "Hey, you deserve it, my brother." And we're talking about, the contract that's coming up that we're going to do. And she goes, "It's not many people or speakers you meet at all the conferences we go to as an educator that change your life and the way that you think. You did that for me, and I feel like others needed to experience what I experienced. You made a life-lasting impression. I never said good morning. I never say good morning anymore since last summer. I always say great morning to everyone. She says, you did that. You have a gift that God bless you with. And what she was talking about is just that mindset shift, right? I say never accept good when great is available. I don't say good morning. I say great morning. I don't say good evening. I say great evening, right? And chatting with her, I didn't know that until this now that she adjusted that after I did this conference with them last summer. And but it's those mindset shifts that we have to take, that we stop just accepting any and everything. We start expecting greatness. We start expecting good things, and great things are going to happen to us, for us, and in our lives and in our business. When we start with that mindset of, I am going to be successful at this, I am going to close this account, I am going to do this, I am going to be a strategic partner versus being a transactional vendor. When we have that mindset, it starts coming to us.
I so agree. I so agree. And so it's a great segue as we start to think about why business skills are more important than ever. And so, let's talk a little bit about why these adjustments, some of the ones that we've already talked about that we made, matter. Because let's be real, as Cedric said it earlier, the days of a safe 40-year career, they're long gone. Many of us, especially our parents, right? They took a job right out of college, and when they retired, they got the watch that said 40 years. We live in an economy and in a world now where people are very transient. They're willing to, not only job hop, but career hop. Like, oh, I've been this, I've been that, I've been this, right? They've been it all. And so, Cedric, why is it critical, though, for people to start thinking like entrepreneurs, even if they do have a 9-to-5?
Yeah, because, and it's not employers' fault, but they don't think of you as a 40-year employee anymore, right? And some of them only see you as employee number 125, right? So, and that 125 is only going to be as good as the value they think they can get out of you. When they don't see that value anymore out of you, guess what? You're out, right? And they're not going to think twice about it. They're going to make a business decision and they're going to move on. Well, you're left stuck. So what you have to do is, even with that 9-to-5, start thinking like an entrepreneur. Look at what they're doing in their business, how they're operating their business. See, in my business, every business skill that I learned while working for Abbott Laboratories, running part of our global marketing organization, or running part of our sales organization, all those business skills I learned, marketing skills I learned, contract negotiation skills I learned, sales experience I learned, I employ that in my business today. I didn't just take all of that and say, well, I'm retired from Abbott, I'm leaving all of that behind me. No, those same strategies, if it can work for that multi-billion-dollar company, it can work in your business too, right? So what we have to start doing is thinking about not only this security and this paycheck, but what's our ability to create value for someone else? What's our ability to add something to someone else's business, fill in a gap that's missing, right? Let's take, you're working a government job in accounting, right? What can you do in the open market as an entrepreneur with those accounting skills, right? It's more than just pushing paperwork. There's a lot that you can do with those skills. Maybe you're not a full-fledged CPA. You don't have to be a CPA to do some of these other things that entrepreneurs are doing with accounting skills, right? And think about if you are in let's say you're in the Veterans Administration, right? And I just saw an announcement today that said they're laying off 80,000 people, right? That's a big number. So you need to be thinking about, what skills did you learn? Did you perfect? Did you become good at? And that you can use in the open market? There's a lot that you can do, right? And don't be thinking about, let me go find out that other clock paycheck I can go get. What can I create to drive revenue? You see, My entire corporate career, I always had another business I was running on the side. Now, Abbott may not like that. I don't know. It didn't matter. But for me, I knew what I was going to be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it didn't impact what I was doing for Abbott,
Mhm.
right? When I traveled, when I was traveling for Abbott, I was traveling for Abbott. It was from 8 to 5. It was boom, 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 100% Abbott. But what I did in my hotel room at night, that's none of their business, right? So I was grinding instead of watching, Judge Judy and reality TV, what the housewives were doing. I was chopping things up, right? Running a business, right?
Mhm.
That's what people need to be thinking about. How can they go from the security of a paycheck, because it's really not security anymore,
Mm-hmm.
right? To transition to the ability to create value for someone else.
Mhm.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So,
Mhm.
Nicole,
Yeah.
Cedric has talked about creating that value. So, what I'd like to know from you and hear you talk about is those skills. What are some of the key business skills that you believe every professional should be developing right now?
That's a good question, because I like what Cedric said, that we all have some gifts and talents and some things that we can do outside of those, especially those in 9 to 5, that you can turn into a profitable business. But you're going to need some business skills. I remember when I made my transition, as like I was good at what I did, but there were still certain skills that I need. And those particular skills, I think, are essential, especially in this environment. We very competitive landscape. So mastering strategic business skills, because if you can't clearly communicate your value, you'll always be at the mercy of someone else's decision. And that's why professionals, whether entrepreneurs, whether leaders or career professionals, they have to think about some getting some business skills and honing in. The first thing I think Cedric talked about was sales. Now, you'll get entrepreneurs, and we see a lot of people in the masterclass like, I don't like sales, right? But no matter what industry you're in, you're selling something, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
selling your expertise, you're selling your ideas, you're selling your leadership, you're selling something. So understanding that the art of sales and how to do it and how to present the value is a game changer for influence and your business and career growth. Another thing that I would say is, especially now, is branding and positioning. I know Cedric has talked about this on one of his master classes too. You got to brand yourself and position yourself. People need to know, like, and trust you before they invest in you, whether as a customer, a client, employer, whatever it is. Developing that strong personal or business brand helps you stand out, because there are many people doing certain things, but what makes you different? How are you position yourself as the go-to expert? Like I said before, I become a resource, right? When people think of a certain problem, they should be able to think of you. Why? Because you positioned yourself, you branded yourself as that expert in the field. Another thing I would say is communication and storytelling. A lot of times it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. So having strong communication skills builds credibility and helps you foster those relationships that you need and ensure your messaging resonates with the right people. I know we get into business and we say, hey, I have a business and I want to help everybody. But know that messaging, it has to be for the right people. So learning how to tell that compelling story about your work, about your impact, about your skill is going to help you set yourself apart. And the last thing that I would say, and Angela, you talked about this, is that networking and relationship building skills, right? They say your network is your net worth, right? So in a world where we have lots of opportunities, whether you're still in your 9 to 5, whether you're starting your entrepreneurship journey, or your season in entrepreneurship, wherever it is, you have to leverage relationships, right? Build authentic connections and really strategically and intentionally leverage relationships for that long-term success. Because at the end of the day, learning how to market yourself is going to be your difference between whether you're struggling or you're thriving. And we see, as I said, Cedric does it, Angela does it, I do it. When hey, you know that who we're serving, when you know what we're doing, you see what we're doing. So when you're a professional entrepreneur and you're invested in those skills, that's when you're going to be successful, being able to pivot no matter what's going on and preparing yourself for a long-term journey. That's what's going to create those opportunities for you.
Well said. Well said. I so agree with everything both of you said. And so for those of you who are watching us right now, we want to hear your thoughts. So drop in our chat your business or industry in the comments. And when you put those there, we'll tell you what additional skills you should focus on mastering this year, right? So, Cedric talked about having a plan and how he sat down in 2024 and planned out what he would do in 2025, because it not only helps him know what he's going to do, but it also keeps him focused and he knows what to say no to. And so you can think about, like, how are you going to spend 2025? What are you going to focus on? And so let us help you with that. And while we're waiting for some people to jump into the chat, what I do want to tell everybody is some of the things that we're talking about right now, including, what those skills are and why you need to, whether you're full-time employed for the government, private sector, nonprofit, it doesn't matter. You have to think like an entrepreneur, because we came to this realization ourselves. And is that exactly one of the reasons why we actually created the Business Excellence Masterclass. So what I want to say to everybody watching this, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it the recording at a later time, the thing I want you to know is this. If you're serious about controlling your own future, this is exactly where you have to start. And so let's just talk a little bit about what the Business Excellence Masterclass is. Now, Nicole, you kick off the masterclass. You are the indoctrination of what it's like to, one, get a lot of homework, but two,
don't give my secrets out now.
To building a solid foundation. So why don't you break down what people are getting when they do jump into our masterclass?
All right, so let's break it down. Because first thing you need to know that this is just not a program of theory, right? We give you a framework that you can start, grow, and scale your business. So when you join the Business Connection Masterclass, you're signing up for transformation. And that's what it is. We transform how you think, how you operate, and how you succeed in your business. So we start off kicking it. I don't care where you are in the process. We want to make sure we're laying a solid foundation. So we're going to go back to ground zero and make sure you have those things and systems in place that you need for a sustainable business. And guess what? We'll start out with a business plan. Right. You'd be surprised how many people, business owners, don't even have a plan, right, of what their business is going to look like. So we go back to the basics and we start off laying that solid foundation. Then we move into clarifying your business and your brand. As I talked about earlier, those one of the business skills that I think that's essential. Understanding your mission and your vision and the unique value that you're bringing, and how to attract the right people that you're looking for. Cutting through the noise, stop second guess your next move, really having positioning yourself as an authoritative figure in the industry that you're in. Then how we're going to get the clients. So we'll talk about, the messaging. We'll talk about your marketing. And then going into sales, how are you going to get to your client? What are you positioning? What are you selling? What's your product? How does that look? So we'll go through all the process and understanding, letting you know how to create a business model that will sustain and that will work for you, right? So it's a kind of a customized journey, right? And you will hear some we're going to talk about some testimonials that we have, but understanding the systems of marketing and sales will help you manage yourself as the chief executive officer of your business that you are. And then when we get through that process of having that solid foundation, learning how to grow your business, later on in our masterclass, we'll talk about strategies of scaling, because once you get the foundation down, you get a little experience, you're making revenue and it's growing and people are coming, they're buying, you're positioning yourself. Now we're going to talk about scaling and learn long-term success and what that looks like, how to expand your reach, how to increase your revenue, and really grow with confidence. So the masterclass, I would say, isn't about just getting stuck in a learning phase, because there are some programs that you join and you're just kind of learning and learning and learning. And it's about taking action. And that's where we're about. It's about you get the information, then you take action. So did I break it down? I think I broke it down like you guys got it.
I think they got it, but they'll have to tell us in the chat, right? And so we want to thank Robin for putting that comment in the chat. Robin says, I am a college and career readiness coach seeking to offer workforce development and career development services to early career professionals. And Dr. Nick, I know you just broke down the boot camp, but because we know Dr. Nick also works with the millennials and the young people and has the adulting program in her business, are there some other skills that you would recommend for Robin?
I would say learning the generational gaps is one thing that I actually teach adults in learning how to appreciate other generations. Right now, there are many that have the mindset, well, I did it this way. This is the way it's supposed to be done. So you have to be able to teach. And again, going back to that shift in mindset for everybody with different generations to close those gaps. So that's something that I would share on how to just attach to those, get to that millennials, closing those generational gaps and ways to do that and to help shift that mindset and thought process.
Awesome. Yes. And two, one of the things that I do love about your adulting and your purpose is, understanding that a lot of these young people, and I know Robin says she wants to, provide services to early career professionals. They didn't get the same indoctrination of the social skills. And especially a lot of these young people who went to college during COVID or started during COVID and been home or remote, a lot of virtual classes. And so, I'd say the skill of meeting people where they are and then helping them expand and grow is something powerful, because we don't want to judge them or put them down because their journey or experience is different than ours, because some of them may not be as prepared with certain aspects, and in other aspects they're eons of above where we were. But that would be another thing I would also recommend for Robin. So thank you for that question, Robin. So Cedric, to follow back up to the Business Excellence Masterclass, I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about what you've seen as far as results and impact.
Yeah, the biggest thing is people going through the class and not just taking information and putting it on the shelf. It's seeing people implement the strategies that they've learned during the master class. And I'm gonna just call out some names of people who have gone through and how we've seen a difference in them. And the obvious first one is Dr. Sitsi Hungway. You know, she's the president of the Cedric LaFleur fan club, and well, her mom's letting her hold the title for a little while. But she has, we can definitely see her implementing the different strategies and things that she learned in the class in her business. And you see that in her actions, in her work, in the results that she's getting in her business. And, you know, Kendrick is one that comes to mind as well. You know, I know he recently was copying us on some communication with, or not communication, but results of some workshops he's been doing, right? Changing his mindset of how he approached the workshop, right? And make the customer, not make the customer, but help the customer understand his value and appreciate his value and not waste time, right? Time is money and money is time. So, we definitely see that. I think that there's, you know, other people that have gone through the class as well. And what I can tell you is that when we see them put the work in, they see the results in their business, right? And, you know, we can go back to, you know, I remember when Edward Gordon, Coach Gordon, some people he went through the class and he started implementing those things. You could see the things from a social media standpoint of what was happening in his business. And, you know, there's a lot of other people, but the main thing is the difference in our masterclass is that we force you to do the work. And when I say that, force you to, we don't come to your house and twist your arm. You know, we do it, you know, virtually. We tell you to put your arm behind your back and you twist it.
Twist it some more.
Yeah, twist it some more. Yeah. No, but what we do is we teach you on one day, on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, you have to show up with the work. You see, so that way we know you took action. We know at least you did it one time, and you know we'll see on Thursday if you did it successfully, right? So we know you know how to do it. We know that you have this skill and the ability to get it done in your business. So with that helps us better help every person that comes into class, because it's not just us talking and us just talking about, I think Dr. Nicole said it earlier, not just theory, right? It's actionable things that we do in our business. See, I'm never going to tell anybody to do something in their business. I don't care what the business is. I'm never going to tell you to do something in your business that I don't do in my business, right? So if you want to be successful in your business, come to that class, because you're going to get what I do in my business. And I already know that I'm successful in mine. I know that Angela's successful in hers. I know that Dr. Nick's successful in hers. I mean, I know Angela because one, United called me the other day and they said, hey, Cedric, your United miles are kind of slacking, but Angela's picking up over here. She's going, Queen of Planes, right?
So let me put it out here. My status dropped last year. I actually traveled less. So that's probably why they call and they're like, where is she at? And,
well, you might have just traveled on a different airline, see, but
no, I'm loyal. I'm loyal. I like that status.
Okay.
And already this year, I think it's March, and I think I've taken only one trip. I kind of made it a two-parter, but yeah, I'm, you know, part of that end of year, just, you know, thinking through though, what's that pivot? How do I want to spend my time and what do I want to do? But I so agree with you. You know, you make me smile too when you talked about, you know, not just the arm twisting part, but we're really doing the work. Yeah. And we're steadily learning and growing. And a lot of people that you learn from, they think they got all the answers. We don't have all the answers, but we'll go find them. Right. And I think that's the big difference. And so Cedric mentioned that, we're not telling people to do things in their business we're not doing, but we'll also tell you the things we tried and we'd be like, this was our result. We don't tell you not to try it, but what we do is we share our experience because you can still learn from that. And then you can up level what we did with it and make it better. So I just love the authenticity and the transparency that comes with being in this circle with us. Because again, we are entrepreneurs. We are out here grinding, training, speaking, coaching, facilitating, writing the books, like everything that we talk to people about. We're products of the product, our own product and our own teaching. So I love that.
Yes. So one thing, I see that my cousin sees up on the screen here. So you've been coming to the sessions for the last few weeks. You become to my live session, and Dr. Nick and Andrew are going to tell you I'm gonna put the test to you. So you're learning a lot of stuff. When you're gonna take some action? I know you said you have a couple of business ideas. When you gonna put them in the action, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we can talk about business ideas and we can talk theory all day long, right? And I have an idea. There's a lot of people that's in the grave that had an idea. They never did anything with it. So I'm gonna do you just like I do people that I coach, do the people that come to the class. When are you gonna put it into action? When are you gonna start the business? Right.
All right.
Let's go.
Right, cuz. Come on now. We all family too, by the way, cousin. I ain't know if you know.
Cuz.
Your cousins are cousins. So cuz, we looking for you. I love that Dr. Sissy says I learned so much in 60 days that I would have in a semester elsewhere. With my level of education, I can definitely say the masterclass is top notch because it's actionable. And Dr. Sissy is a doctor, as in she is a dentist doctor. So she's had a lot of schooling.
Yes.
Thank you.
And not only did she take it once, she took it twice.
Yeah. We revamped. And she said, they made some changes. I want the new stuff too.
Yeah.
She said, I want the new stuff too. Love that in her. So, for those of you who may have heard enough tonight, and you're like, you know what? They're right. My job, everything is the same, but I need to take control of my own future. And Cedric talked about always having a side something, no matter who he worked for. I didn't always, but I can definitely say that last 15 years in my government career, I did. You might be ready. So I want to encourage you to go to www.bei.network/home. Nicole, if you'll type that in the chat too as well. If Cedric, you got it?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But grab your spot now. Comment excellent as well. Maybe you can't click on the link. And what we'll do is we'll make sure you get that link. But then there are some people that's like, you all sound really good and I know about you, but I don't really know you. So we want to also remind them that if they just want to meet us and spend a little bit more one-to-one time, because this is more one directional, we're talking to them and reading the comments, that they can come connect and be around the right people, not just us, but other entrepreneurial spirits, and come join us at Connecting the Lab on March the 29th. And so, Cedric, I'd love for you to just talk about the power of networking and how this event, really builds real connections.
Yeah. So, I'm going to do that. But what I'm doing is when you just said, hey, people may say they don't know us. Right. So what I'm doing is, and I'm going to share this here with you, but I need to write a few names down first because I want to help you understand. All right. So let me write this here. All right. So, So now let me ask you this. Have you ever bought any Apple products? Sure you have. But you don't know the CEO of Apple. Is it still Tim Cook? If it is, you don't know him, right? You didn't know, doggone it. What's the guy? He's dead now. The Apple guy.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Yeah, you didn't know Steve Jobs. You just saw him in his black outfit on TV, right? You didn't know him, but you stood. Yeah, but you stood in line in the rain to buy that Apple phone and that iPod and iPad and MacBook, right? Do you know Jeff Bezos? Have you ever talked to him? Huh? No, absolutely not. but you buy from Amazon every day, don't
Every
you?
day.
Right? Do you know Ray Kroc, the McDonald's brothers? No, but you pull up at McDonald's and get that Happy Meal, right? Burger King. Do you know the king, whoever he is? No.
Do you know the king? Which
And do you know the thing? I almost went somewhere with that comment, but I'm gonna let it ride.
I
that's a
mean,
different meaning. Do you know the
hey,
king?
yeah, do you know it? No, right? What about, you drive a Chevrolet, you drive a Ford, you drive a Tesla. Do you know any of those people? Absolutely not. But you still buy from them. So you don't have to know us to buy from us. All you have to know is you want to go to another level. All you have to know is, just like when you buy that Apple phone, right? You want something of value. So you're going to come to the BEI Masterclass so you can get something of value, right? That's going to take you to another level. When you eat that burger, it's going to fill you up and you're going to be all happy. Well, guess what? When you come to that Masterclass, we're going to give you all that food to eat so you can be happy and grow a business, okay? Now, let's, on a serious note, let's talk about the power of networking, right? Nicole said it earlier that your net worth is really equivalent to your network, right? So the people that you hang around with, they're going to be the ones that dictate what your net worth is, right? Because if you're hanging around people who are just average, and your net worth is going to be just average. All right. You're hanging around people who are going to the next level, then guess what? Your network is going to increase and get to that next level, because you're going to start putting in the work to keep up with those people, right? So now, when you come to Connect and Collab, it's about being around other like-minded individuals. It's about being around people who are excited about growing a business, excited about learning new things, excited about stretching themselves. They're excited, right? They don't live with a poverty mindset. They don't live with a I can't do mindset. They don't live with it's gonna fail mindset. They don't live in this mediocre environment. They're trying to go to another level. That's why they're networking with other people who are trying to go to another level. So when we rise, you rise. So you need to stay close to the fire. If you look, let me tell you what. If you want to stay warm, you got to get close to the fire. And guess what? If the person next to you is on fire, that heat's going, it's just going, go right over there to you, right? And then eventually you gonna catch on fire if you stay there long enough, right? That's why they try to make sure that one side of the house, if it's on fire, they try to make sure that they put some water on that other house next door to it, because that heat's gonna get so hot, eventually that house is gonna catch on fire. So what I need you to understand is why you need to come to this masterclass, and why you need to come to Connect and Collab, to be around like-minded individuals. If you decide not to do the class, that's okay. You still come to Connect and Collab to at least get around some people who are on fire, who are going to another level. That's going to help you go to another level.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And the chat is loving that too, talking about that networking. So Nicole, what would you say, having, we all play different roles in how we show up for the BEI, and Connect and Collab has kind of become your baby. So what would you say to people?
I would say just come. I mean, you are, especially now, you have that idea, that thing that you want to do. You thought about it. You may have even written it down somewhere. You talked to somebody. Time is now. I think Connect and Collab gives you an opportunity to help build that momentum, because you're in there with like-minded people. You're going to have people who have new people that are just coming for the first time. We have people who've been to Connect and Collab. We've been doing this for about 2 years now. Every quarter we come back. For Connect and Collab, 4 years. And then you have people who have been a part of the masterclass as well. So you in the room, like you said, your network is determine your network. You're in the room with like-minded individuals looking to grow their business, successful business, looking to have that like-minded. So you need to be in the room yourself. Again, if you have an idea and you just have putting it to the back burner, now is the time to brush off those journals, brush off that business plan, get to connect and collab, and just see and understand and get motivated and hear testimonials, hear strategies that you can use and put to work to get your business started. So the link is in the chat. Secure your spot. We do it on Zoom. We keep it intimate so we're able to have conversations about your business as well. So we can have a powerful networking time. So definitely join. We will do the hot seat again. So for those that are registered, you'll be able to come into the hot seat where you'll have all coaches thinking into your business. So we'll bring that back. We brought that back. We did that 2 Connect and Collabs ago. We're going to bring that back because we had some great feedback. So if you want your business to be in the hot seat, to get, we say we're the board that you can't afford. This is the opportunity to do that. So click the link, register, and we'll see you on the 29th.
All right. Yes, definitely click the link. Like I said, and if you can't click, then type I'm in and we'll reply to that. But we want to make sure we connect and collab with you because it's all about connection and collaborations. And you just never know who you might meet. And, I don't know about you all, but I can tell you unequivocally, I have met people. And when I met them, the only thing I knew was, man, they good people. Or, I really like them. Then, 6 months pass, a year pass, and then something comes up. And I think to myself, man, I wish I knew somebody who. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. I actually do. I met somebody long before I even knew I needed that in my life. And so you just never know. So, I saw the comments about networking. It is good and it's virtual. So some of you like, well, where is it going to be? This is a virtual event. So you can, quote unquote, be anywhere and join us. And we've had people join us internationally. So you just never know. You just never know. So definitely get in the room. And so, we're about to hit the top of the at the end of our hour. And so I just like to recap real quickly some of the things that we've talked about tonight, because it has been our pleasure to just be back here with you. And for some of you who are new to our show, we want to thank you for watching. Just FYI, we are here every other Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Put it on your calendar. Don't depend on Facebook to remind you, because what are some of the things we've learned recently? We talked about pivoting and changes. Now these Facebook Lives, they're going to go away after 30 days. So these kinds of things won't be around forever. But what you can do is get connected. We have a Facebook page, Business Excellence and Impact. Go follow us on Facebook. All of us post there. We share our information there. But just come hang out with us every other Wednesday. And so the recap is like this. For those of you who not only want to, but are ready and willing to take control of your future, join us in the Business Excellence Masterclass. And again, that's www.bei.network/home. You want to be there. And if you need a payment plan, we can offer one of those too and put you on a 2-pay versus a 1-pay. But don't let this season of uncertainty, this season of, what can feel like chaos or just, a lack of clarity keep you from tapping into your purpose and your dreams. So we want to see you there. The other key point was, if you need a powerful network, join us at Connect and Collab. And again, put I'm in the chat. Cedric has re-put the link in the chat as well, so there's no excuses. And then last but not least, if you got some value, even if it was just one thing from tonight's show, I need everybody. Now I need you to hear me good. Everybody to do this for me. So that's, going back through the scroll. Who's in there? Sitsi, Robin. Is it Ellie? Is that how you pronounce your cousin's name, Cedric? Is it Ellie?
Yeah, Carter.
Ellie, all of you and whoever else, those of you who've been watching and didn't comment, I need you to tag somebody. You know somebody who needs to come back and watch this video. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do. So before we go, Cedric and Nicole, I just want to give you both an opportunity to have some final words and inspire people in this season where it feels like maybe there's not a lot of positive happening right now. So Nicole, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I would just say there's hope on the other side. We've gone through a lot, but guess what? We've gone through. We don't stay there. Then, as they said, this too shall pass. So for those entrepreneurs out there thinking about building a business, it isn't about luck. It's about clarity. It's about strategy and execution. So if you are feeling stuck or overwhelmed, unsure of the times, this is your time that you really need to get connected. Because guess what? People are still thriving out there, and you need to be connected with those people. So I say join the masterclass, and I will see you at Connect and Collab on the 29th.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. A bird sitting on a tree is not worried about that limb breaking because he knows the power is in his wings. And I'm telling you now, a creative life is an amplified life, right? It's a bigger life. It's a happier life. It's an expanded life. It's a hell of a lot more interesting life as well. So get in, connect, and collab, and then make sure you come to the Business Excellence and Impact Group Masterclass. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. It'd be money worth investing in yourself.
Yes, yes. And we invest in so many things to get us nothing. After we enjoy it, it's over. So invest in yourself. And, we've already talked about the world is changing, but guess what? As Nicole said, that's nothing new. It's always changing. What the difference is, as Cedric said at the beginning, this whole show just went a full circle, right? The difference is some of us just weren't prepared. But the world is changing. It's always changing. And preparation and getting the right tools and being in the right circles, these are the things that you can actually control. So if you want to say, I'm tired of other people making decisions about how much money I make, about how much time I can take off, about whether or not I got to send an email at the end of the week and say what I accomplished, about, whether or not I'll still have a job in a month or two, then it's time. It's time for you to tap into the purpose. It's time for you to tap into what you have a special gift to do. And perhaps instead of just using your strengths to build other people's businesses, something we've all done, so we're not knocking it. But what Cedric said earlier, again, the whole conversation goes full circle. Everything that he learned while working at Abbott, whether it was in marketing or sales, he's using that now to grow the floor leadership, using that now to grow the Business Excellence and Impact Group. Dr. Nick, we were teasing earlier, was teaching a class earlier, because Dr. Nick, by the way, is a doctor, as in PhD, as in she teaches for a living. She is a professor. She still uses those skills and those same skills today. Help her grow her business. And if y'all don't know, you need to know. So if you're not following my two co-founders, I'm going to suggest you do, because they out here killing it.
Yes, and let me tell you what, I said this on Talk Leadership with Cedric on Monday. Here's how I know when people are not ready to go to the next level. When they ask for advice, they ask me for advice, and then I check back with them and they tell me they're thinking about it. They got to think into it. They got to consider, and they got to weigh the pros and the cons. You see, I'm already doing next level stuff in my life. If you don't believe me, then go Google me, go check the website, right? Go look at the video, right? Go look a whole lot of stuff already doing on next level stuff. If you tell me that you want to go to the next level, but then you follow up and say, I'm considering what you said, then I know you're not ready to go to the next level, right? Because when somebody at the next level is telling you what they did and how they did it, you don't have to think about it. It should hit your mind and you'll be ready to move and take action on it, right? Mm-hmm. So if I called Warren Buffett and I'm asking him for investment advice, and he tells me, and if I tell him, okay, I'm going to consider that, I'm going to think about it, I'm going to ponder on it for a little while, he knows I'm not ready to go to where he is. So why waste his time, right? If I wanted to understand how to build another Amazon, and I go to Jeff Bezos and I'm talking to him, I'm not going to be thinking about it twice. I'm going to say, this is what you did. I'm going to go and reproduce this, right? Because he's already been there. He's already took the shovel and dug the hole and made it even bigger, right? So you need to be prepared to move, folks. I'm telling you, don't let a little dollar amount impact you from your goal and your dreams and your blessings. I'm texting right now with a friend of mine that is, boom, last week she was worried. Today she's on top of the world because not did one offer come in for her, but multiple offers came in for her for new jobs. She's another PhD person, right? That's just blowing up the world. And we said, do these things. She did these things. And now everybody is trying to get her to work for them. People, make a decision today. Connect and collab, and then the masterclass. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought Nicole was gonna get the plate. I'm sorry.
And the church say amen.
But Cedric, I have to agree with everything you said. Everything you said. So again, it's time for you to take control of your future. So let's make it happen. We'll see you in the masterclass, and we'll see you at Connect and Collab, and we'll see you at the top. So have an amazing night. And again, we're here to help you elevate both your mindset and your money. Be well, everybody.
Bye-bye.